congressional Republicans and some gun rights lawyers just overturned a 92-year-old law, and the lessons that they give in this is sort of like a, if you don't succeed, try again, and you never really know how policy is going to unfold, so keep trying. So in 1934, we passed the National Firearms Act, and this was something that didn't ban firearms, but it said, look, in the spate of violence that we're seeing right now, we're going to make it a little bit more expensive to have some of these things. So machine guns, sawed-off shotguns, and some accessories like silencers all were subject to a $200 tax, and there's like fingerprinting and other registration requirements that come with these. Now, $200 has been the same fee from 1934 till today. It's not indexed or anything. It'd be like almost $5,000 back then, but it's a $200 fee. And people who are gun rights activists have been unhappy about this. They think it's an unfair sort of encroachment on the Second Amendment, and so they've been trying to overturn different parts of this law since it's been implemented. About 10 years ago, congressional Republicans started to introduce pieces of legislation that would say, like, this is the Hearing Protection Act, and they would argue that silencers should be taken off this because they wanted hunters to be able to, like, protect their ears while they're silencing their weapons. They also would have things like the Shush Act, which is an acronym that's kind of cute, and these didn't go anywhere. So then this time around, when the One Big Beautiful Bill, that big reconciliation bill, was being considered, they put in a provision to do what they wanted to do, which is like take silencers, or what they now call suppressors, off the legislative path, that it has to have this $200 fee or fine or tax or whatever you want to call it, and all the associated registration pieces. When they tried to do that, however, the Senate parliamentarian said, I'm sorry, you can't do this in reconciliation because it's obviously not about taxes, it's about something else. So they said, okay, great, you know what we're going to do? We're going to change the tax from $200 to $0. Parliamentarians like, sounds good, that can be in reconciliation. Then, the very day the bill gets signed into law, conservative legal activists file a lawsuit in federal court to say, like, look, this act was established under Article 1 taxing powers. There's no longer a tax on it. You made it to zero, so all that other enforcement mechanism needs to go away. And just this last week, a federal judge agreed with them. Now, if a Democrat was in the White House, they probably would have appealed it, but the Republican president and his Department of Justice had said they're not going to appeal it. So I think the lesson is, if you really want to get some policy done, it might take a really long time. You might have to try a lot of ways, but if you keep at it, you might get the outcome that you want. And that's certainly what happened for Republicans in Congress and conservative legal activists in the gun rights space, what they pulled off in this last week.